how to do an App Inventor project called Addition Game. It's a game where there are buttons here on the canvas, and when one of the buttons touches the edge, you have to answer a math question. When you get it right, you get a score. Let's get started. I already have a template here, so let me explain to you what these are. So this is the first horizontal arrangement where the words are. So this is the score label, which literally says score, and this is the real score that we'll code later. And this is the instructions. Please answer the answer. So this is the canvas where you play, and these are the free buttons. Of course, when they touch the edge, you have to answer an answer. So where do you answer? Here's the answer box, and when you're done, press this button, check the answer. You can make this yourself, or you can make your own design. Let's start coding. First, we want a variable to know that which number it is. So go to variables from blocks, initialize global name to set the name to number 1. Set it to 0. We'll work on number 1 first. So we also need a procedure. So in blocks, go to procedures. To procedure, drag it out. So we'll make our code. Go to variables. Set, of course, the global number 1 to, we'll make a random number from number 1 to 9. Here we have the images of those numbers. You can make them yourself if you want, and it could be bigger than 9. So go to math, and select random integer from 1 to, of course not 100. We don't have 100 pictures, so we'll set it to 9. Later we'll duplicate this and set it to global number 2 and number 3, which we'll make later. We also need the image picture, so we have to join it with the global number, of course, and the picture, because for my template, all the pictures are starting with point PNG, so I'm going to join that. So go to number image 1. Scroll down and pick set image 1 picture to, no, not this. Not only that, we have to join stuff. So go to text, select join, which there are 2 sockets below. So we have to join the global number, so you hover above the variable you set. There will be 2 blocks. Select get global number 1. Drag it out and snap it on the join place first. And go to text again. Drag the text box, or like a little text box, from the very, very top, and select your image file. For me, it's PNG. Perfect. Finally, we have to set where it will be on the canvas. So go back to image 1 and the blocks. And set number image 1 point X to what? To 0. It's actually a place where it already starts. Finally, set the answer box. So go to answer box or your text box and set answer box or text box text to nothing. So go to text, go to the very top and drag this speech bubble again and write nothing in it. So of course we don't only have one number, we have 3 numbers, or when you call it buttons. So duplicate the initialize global thing. Initialize global number 2 to 0. And duplicate it again. And this time set it to number 3. Great. Of course, we also have to duplicate this whole. So set duplicate, snap it below, and set to global number 2. And of course, duplicate it again and set to global number 3. We'll put this here. This we don't need to duplicate. I think you know the rest. You have to just change the number. Number image 1, number image 2, and number image 3. Or sprite image if you call it. Finally, duplicate this. Number image 1, number image 2, and number image 3. Snap them together and put it below the set image number 3. Join. There you go. With the first big line of code. But of course, we also need to code the numbers. Because when the numbers touch, we have to program that when one of the buttons touch the edge, it would make out an answer. So let's move on to the code. Go to control and go to the very bottom. No, go to screen 1, go to the very bottom of the yellow box. So select when screen 1 initialized. So what do we do? Initialized. Of course we need the next question. But how do we get the next question? Of course we have to run this procedure. So the procedure is called procedure. Of course not. We can name it next question. Next question. Okay. Now go back to procedures. You should find a new block here. Call next question. So this is like a function. It repeats over and over again. Procedure is just a new name. So let's get started with the first number image again. So number image 1. When number image 1 edge reached edge here. So of course we have to call the next question. So when the screen 1 initialized, that means it's made like the first you entered the app. So you have to call next question. That means you make a question. So when the edge reached, we have to do the same thing. So duplicate call next question and snap it below here. Of course, we need the same with number image 2 and 3. So let's duplicate them. Number image 1, number image 2, and number image 3. Perfect. Now finally, we need to program the check answer button. So what do we do? So go to check answer button. When check answer button clicked. So what do? We have an if then else condition. So go to control, drag out an if then else function. from the blocks and drag it right inside the check answer button click block. So if what? Of course, if all the three numbers add up together, we're going to make the game. If one of them touches the edge, all the numbers will freeze and they'll make random numbers on top of them. Like 1, 2, 3. 1 plus 2 plus 3 is equals to 6. But how does this computer even know this? Of course, computers are smart, but they don't know what to do unless you program them. So drag out from logic equals what equals to what and snap it in the if box. So if what? If the answer box is text, so check answer button, scroll down and find check answer button point text. Put it in the first block, empty block place. And second, of course we need to add. So adding from colors. You add colors? Of course not. It's in math. So go to math and select the setting button and blank space plus blank space. Drag it out and put it at the other blank space. So, of course, we need one more. We can't just add two numbers. So this is a trick. Go press the settings button. We'll see here there's a little code. So drag one more number here. So we'll have 3 number space. We don't know what the number is. Of course, the computer doesn't know. But here's how we add them and minus them. So if you want to minus them, then simply just drag it right into the workspace. So we'll have 3. So there's supposed to be 3 numbers here. So which 3? Of course, the 3 global numbers. Go back to variables. Get what? Get a piece of cake. No. So we get the global number 1, 2, and 3. So duplicate them again. Global number 2 and global number 3. Perfect. So if all 3 of these numbers add up together is equal to the text in the check answer button. Wait a minute. Is there text in the check answer button? Of course not. The text is in the text box. So drag this out. Go to answer box or text box. And go to text box point text. So if the text box text is equal to all these numbers added together, then of course we can play a sound. So in the designer, go to designer, there's supposed to be a player. We don't need a source and we don't need loops. Just set the volume to 50. Go back to blocks. We'll program this source. So go to player 1 from blocks and set player source to, of course, a player doesn't play an image. That doesn't make sense. So select yay or some winning sounds that you have in store and put it in the media in the designer here. Get back to blocks. So after we play this, but of course, this is not what we want. So go back to text or duplicate some of these empty space blocks where you can put text. So put your file name in this text box. Drag away this thing. Bye, have fun in the bin. So go to the score label. This is the label where we have our score name, like 1 score, 5 score, 100 score. So put it below the set player source block. Snap it below. So set the scores text to, of course, let's go to math and drag out another something plus something. we don't need to go into the settings now. It's already 2 things. So go back to the score label and find score label text. Put in the first box. To what? To 100? Of course not. You won't get 100 points if you get one answer right. So set it to 1 plus 1 point. Or you can change if you don't want to. But there's a trick. So if you lose, that means you got the answer wrong. You have to minus 1 mark or 1 score. So duplicate the set player source thing and set it to a losing file name. Mine is this. Of course, you can't remember. If you can't remember it all, go to Designer and into Media here. Then you'll find all your sounds names or your pictures if you want. And of course, we also need the text. So duplicate it. Set score text to not plus anymore. Drag these 2 stuff inside the boxes and put the plus thingy in the math getaway. So go minus. It's quite the same. So put the score text here. Minus 1. Like deducting marks from your exam. Or otherwise. If that means otherwise, actually that is not equal. That means that the answer is wrong. So after we do it, we call the player 1 to start again. Of course. Go to player 1. It's like call player 1 start. This one. Call player 1 start. And stop it below the if then else block. Don't put it in the wrong place. And also, we have to call the next question. Of course, we need another question. So, duplicate it or find it into the procedures. Here. Call next question. Finally, we have to test it. So you could also decorate your designer or arrange the settings. So if you want to share it, so go to Connect AI Companion and find a combination app on your tablet or iPhone. Scan the QR code or enter the code here, right here. And you can test your own app. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.